Now they're in the middle of the last tough climb. In fact, it's a climb of about 20 kilometres to the 1,500-metre elevation finish at Madesimo. And the big boys have assembled in close company. Race leader Stephen Roach in the pink of leader. The green of Mountain King is worn by Robert Miller. Young Brookink is there as well. He wore the pink of leader early on in the tour. And with him as well is Roberto Visentini, who of course was also in the Maglia Rosa. So some big boys here, although up the road and away is Bernard the Frenchman. But the concentration of television is on these jerseys, and there's the cyclamen, which denotes the points leader in the Giro d'Italia, being worn by Johan van der Velde.
Yes, Jimmy, Bernard is away. He's about a minute or a minute and a half clear of this group, but he's well down overall. He's going to make no change to the overall classification, so the television cameras rightly concentrating on the pink jersey group of Stephen Roach.
Already on this 19th stage, they've climbed the famous pass of San Marco. That was nearly 2,000 metres high and came at exactly halfway, but this is a torturous finish to it. And all of the day we've had Visentini on Stephen Roach's wheel, not assisting, perhaps not able to assist.
No, looking at him earlier on there, the situation is that he seems to be tired. He's certainly not trying to attack Stephen, and in actual fact he's certainly not assisting him, but I don't really think he's got much in his legs, to be honest with you.
Two Spaniards together here, Lejarreta and Pedro Munoz, two good climbers and two leaders of the respective teams. Munoz, of course, the leader of Fego here, and the other man, the leader of the Caja Rural team. So two Spaniards together, two renowned climbers, and they're bridging the gap between these four and the man up front, Bernard. We're looking now at Robert Miller jumping his long-time colleagues here, and what a man he is on the climbs, little Robert.
Yes, a great climber, Robert Miller, and one of the top riders in the world in actual fact. And this actually is a little bit dangerous for Stephen, because Miller is only 2 minutes down overall, so if Miller over the last couple of kilometres were to take a lot of time out of this group, he could put himself into a very strong position for the next couple of days.
Going back to that newsworthy Saturday, June the 6th, when Stephen Roach took back the Maglia Rosa from Visentini, a lot of controversy, a lot of friction since then. And do you think perhaps there might be some sort of pact between the English-speaking riders now?
I would think so, to some extent anyway. I mean, certainly Miller and Brookink are in with a chance of winning this race, and they would dearly love to win it. But Miller you remember, Jimmy, 2 years ago in the Tour of Spain, he held the lead for most of the race, and on the last day, all of the Spaniards ganged up, and he lost it to Pedro Delgado. And Miller will remember that, and he would possibly liaise a little bit with Stephen, in that he wouldn't like to see the Italians ganging up and taking this race from Stephen.
Visentini there, sandwiched now between Van der Velde and Stephen Roach. Roberto Visentini wearing number 1, winner of the Giro last year, looking for the back-to-back victories as they go into the tunnel. And when they emerge, it's still the same. It's Stephen Roach in the famous pink jersey that denotes leadership of the second greatest cycle race in the world, the Tour of Italy, Giro d'Italia, second only to the Tour of France itself, and it started, in fact, only 6 years after the Tour de France. What a one to win.
Certainly, and hopefully he's going to hold on to this jersey for the rest of the week. It's certainly going to be a marvellous achievement.
Eric Brookink, this young Dutchman, back in the first week, he was in the pink for 3 days. Van der Velde won that controversial stage on Saturday, the one where Roach took back the pink. So Van der Velde is now in the points leader's jersey, all the good jerseys together. No, the television has not gone to the Frenchman. He's been virtually ignored. Jean-Francois Bernard, the 25-year-old. And we have Miller leading out Lejarreta and Pedro Munoz. Those are those three there, two Spaniards and a Scot. Behind them, it's Eric Brookink, the Dutchman, Stephen Roach, the Irishman, Roberto Visentini, the lone Italian up there. So he certainly has no support.
He's no support, no, but he's certainly getting the support from the crowds. If you watch as they go by the crowded areas, the Visentini, the Italian, that's getting all the cheers from the supporters.
Well, that's not surprising. Very understandable. They started at noon. They went through Bergamo, lovely scenery, Cedrina, Lena, Mezzosola, Madonna delle Grazie. And this is where Italy juts into Switzerland. Today's finish at Madesimo is no more than 50 kilometers from San Moritz. So lovely part of the world.
I think, Jimmy, we might be getting the first shots of this race leader actually on the road. That is Jean-Francois Bernard coming through. No, it's the Miller group, Miller, Lazaretta and Munoz.
Very good climbers here, but Miller having an excellent Tour of Italy, 3Ks to the finish. And the finish is at an elevation of 1,550 metres. There's the number 3, the pink of Roche, and again Visentini right on his wheel. Indeed, he's been so close to Roche all day, I think they were riding tandem. The cyclamen jersey is the points leader, that's Van de Velde. The other jersey there, the Panasonic, is Brookink. And at times when we've gone to Visentini, he looks struggling, actually.
Yes, the shot there of him there now, and he's trying to catch his breath a bit, and he looks to be struggling. We've Roche now. Brookink just attacked there. Roche went after him immediately, and Visentini actually didn't react.
Bernard, Jean-Francois Bernard, with Greg LeMond out injured after that unfortunate shooting accident, and Bernard Hinault retired. He'll almost certainly lead the Toshiba team in the Tour de France. But meantime, back to the man who's leading the Tour of Italy, Stephen Roche, Dundrum, County Dublin. Who would ever have believed that an Irishman would lead a major tour? This is his 14th day in the pink.
And we saw there, Jimmy, Visentini didn't have the strength to chase Roche when he got to that gap there, and it's Van de Velde that brought him up to the 2 leaders.
When we get back, there's Van de Velde again there, and the Gisjoli team, an Italian team. But you see the Panasonic jersey, young Brookink, perhaps the biggest danger to Roche, starting out only 33 seconds or thereabouts behind him on general classification. Now, if he doesn't do it in this Giro, he's certainly one to watch. There's Madesimo. As I say, no more than 50 k's from San Moritz, but Madesimo in Italy for the Giro, and shortly we shall get down there and pick up Jean-Francois Bernard, the 1987 second in Paris-Nice. Remember that great time trial he had up the Col d'Azé? And he'll lead, as we say, the Toshiba Look team, the ex-La Claire team in the Tour de France of 1987. And he really is a star of the future, and he's going to be have his own little piece of stardom today as winning a stage, although virtually ignored as the battle goes on for general classification behind him. Also, Munoz, the cyclamen is Johan van der Velde. That's the points in this race. Brookink in the Panasonic, now a very familiar uniform to us. The pink, the Maglia Rossa of Stephen Roche, as we come up to the finish line to pick up Bernard. No doubt about him. He's going to be the winner, and he's going to win it by a considerable margin, perhaps as much as a minute and a half, minute and 20 seconds or thereabouts. He's the winner, no doubt about that. There's Eric Brookink in our picture again, and he's one of the younger ones. Like Bernard, he's in fact 2 years younger.
Actually, he's having a little go there in the last kilometre now. He's trying to break away and get a handful of seconds. Remember, he's only 33 seconds down on Stephen, so I mean, every couple of seconds he can gain are going to be useful to him.
Eric Brookink. He won the stage from San Remo to San Romolo. That was stage 1.
We saw Van de Velde reacting after Brookink there. Visentini obviously didn't bother chasing Van de Velde, and Stephen had to come around him immediately and try and close up the gap.
Here we have this tandem thing again. It's quite remarkable. He's been on that back tyre all day.
It's true, yeah. He obviously, I think he's possibly accepted that Stephen is going to win this race, all right. But he's obviously not going to help him. In actual fact, and probably not even hinder him totally. But he's, as I say, he's certainly not helping Stephen.
So there we have Van de Velde, one Dutchman following another there. In that particular picture, here comes Robert Miller going for second place. Absolutely sewing up that green jersey for 1987 in Italy, and Miller is second. The third man in is Lacoretta, the 30-year-old Spaniard, and they were at 1 minute 13, 1:13. Another 30-year-old here, Van de Velde, coming in to be fourth, and then it's Brookink, then it's Schepers, Roche is there as well, and Visentini. Pedro Munoz is ninth. So, the stage win for Bernard. Roche retains the pink, Miller retains the green. And what an exciting day in the Tour of Italy, and looking very good now, Pat, for Stephen Roche.
Yes, he's got a couple of days now to try and consolidate that lead. He's obviously feeling strong. We saw from the shots there on the climb that he's riding very well up the hills. There's nobody going to attack him or nobody going to leave him. I think Breukink possibly is the real danger, or even Miller if on Friday stage, which finishes up a 15-kilometre climb, Miller could take time out of him.
Nonetheless, Stephen is in an unfriendly situation. In fact, there's no doubt there's friction in the camp.
Oh, there's definitely friction in the camp. Stephen is on his own virtually in the Carrera team. He's got Eddie Sheeper certainly with him, but a lot of the other riders, the Italian riders, are siding with Vincentini. Roach has that he's got to beat his own team in effect as well as the opposition, so it's certainly not easy for Stephen.
What about service, if that becomes a problem?
Service could be. It could be that the team mechanic, if Roach has a problem, the team mechanic could give him a slow change. They could do anything, but really I think Carrera are going to have to take a decision. Roach is the man that can win the race, and if they start messing him around, then the whole team lose out.
Well, let's hope that it's all exaggerated. In fact, that Stephen does hang on for what will be one of the greatest achievements ever by an Irish sportsman, not just a cyclist. The winner of the stage, Jean-Francois Bernard. He's the Wednesday winner in 4 hours, 58 minutes and 20 seconds for 160 kilometres. Miller in green. But in the race that matters most of all, with 3 days to go, it's Stephen Roach of Ireland in the Maglia Rosa.
So the smiling Dublin man continuing to do everything right, still in front. Breukink now in second, 33 seconds in arrears. Miller up to third at 1:35. Lejarreta up from 6th to 4th at 2:46. Giapondi down 1 place to 5th at 3:03, and Vicentini up from 7th to 6th, but a further 12 seconds down at 3:24. So 3 days to go, and with reports of unease in the Carrera camp still flying around, it was as much a test of temperament as ability for Roach. Now there was one major test still to come, yesterday's long stage to an uphill finish. It was here that the Panasonic duo of Breukink and Miller were expected to make their move.